This is your weekly report on corruption in the Philippine government. 6 police officers are facing cases in the city of Mati, Davao Oriental over the detention of a woman during a confrontation against mining operations last year. The arbitrary detention and unlawful arrest cases, copies of which were obtained by the Manila Bulletin, were filed by Claridel Salona Lincoln, a resident of Barangay Macambal in the city of Mati, before the city prosecutor's office after lawmen allegedly detained her from the 28th of June, 2025 to the 3rd of July, 2025 after the incident. Charged were then Davao Oriental Provincial Police Office Chief Police Colonel Julius Siligan, then Mati City Police Station Chief Police Major Anthony Gumban, Police Major Cyrello Solana, Police Master Sergeant May Ponce, Police Master Sergeant Azaca Blinda, and Police Corporal Katrina Jason. Lincoln recounted in her affidavit that Barangay Macambal Chairman Cyreno Salazar and fellow barangay officials arrived at the barricade site within her property in Purit Casinihan. Salazar was accompanied by Siligan, who brought about 100 armed police officers, including some members of the Special Weapons and Tactics. According to Lincoln, we regulated the passage of heavy vehicles on our private road, but more or less 100 policemen swooped down on our property without warrant and dismantled our bamboo pole and forcefully entered my house by the street and unlawfully arrested me and my companions Brian Cadilla and Donas Narisma, Lincoln said in her affidavit filed on the 21st of April. Lincoln, along with local fisherfolk, barricaded a portion of the road leading to the nickel mining site of Hallmark Mining Corporation in Barangay Macambal on the 26th of June, 2025. She, along with members of the Davao Oriental Puget Landscape Ecotourism Association, farmer, fisherfolks, family, and friends, Dapablito F4, were protesting the alleged inaction of the mining company on their request to address damages to their livelihood allegedly due to landslide from the mine site. They justified the barricade by prohibiting vehicles owned by the mining firm from entering. Police confronted the protesters and insisted that the road should be cleared following an order from the Department of Interior and local government. Siligan said that he was ordered by then Philippine National Police Chief Police General Nicholas Tor III to implement the clearing operation, but protesters insisted that police do not have any warrant or court order to implement road clearing operations in a private property. As residents refused to dismantle the barricade, police told residents to challenge their action before the court. Police and barangay peacekeepers dismantled the barricade and forcibly took Lincoln and her colleagues. Videos of the confrontation circulated in social media last year, including police officers entering the house and kicking a door inside a house after Lincoln locked herself inside the room. Glossalito Jamer, counsel of Salona and protesters, said police filed cases against Lincoln and her colleagues but were eventually dismissed by a local court in October last year. It took us few months to formally charge the police because we waited for the disobedience case filed by the police to be dismissed, Jamer said. The cases were dismissed after barangay officials and the police failed to show proof that the dirt road was part of the provincial road network or donated to the government for public use. Thus, the arrest and detention were unlawful since the landowner has the right over the land where the road is located, Jamer said. Jamer added that his client did not commit any crime. The lawyer also disclosed that they have lodged an administrative complaint before the National Police Commission and are awaiting an update from the agency. There is no legal basis to the arrest conducted by the police on such day because I have done nothing illegal and I committed no crime, Lincoln stated in her affidavit. I can say that because of what we have done in setting up a boom or bamboo pole gate in our private road inside our private land at Purit Casanihan. Police Regional Office 11 spokesperson Police Major Catherine Dela Rey was asked for a statement on the 23rd of April on the case but she has yet to respond. The Commission on Audit has flagged almost 217 million pesos worth of expired medicines in the medical inventory of the Department of Health. That is as of the 31st of December last year, and COA, in its audit observation memorandum, said 476.5 million pesos more are set to expire. These figures suggest that procurement planning and inventory management could be further refined to prevent overlocking. The volume of near-expiry medicines also presents a risk that supplies may lapse before reaching beneficiaries, COA states in its report. This situation impacts the timely distribution of medical resources and could lead to the inefficient use of government funds, it added. COA earlier flagged DOH for inventory deficiencies, including delays in recording and lack of documentation on the movement of medicines. The report also raised questions about whether demand was properly assessed and whether the volume matched actual needs. In the same report, COA said it recommended to DOH Secretary Ted Habosa to require agency heads to implement a more stringent timeline and closely monitor the disposal of expired drugs, medicines and medical supplies to prevent delays and minimize storage cost. At the same time, it recommended efficiency in distribution through timely coordination with concerned programs units, as well as prioritization of the distribution of expiring medicines and to determine the specific causes of the expired stocks. The Department of Justice on Monday said prosecutors have secured the conviction of a former Bureau of Internal Revenue employee in Zamboanga City for multiple counts of money laundering, following complaints filed by the Anti-Money Laundering Council Secretariat. Senior Assistant State Prosecutor Mary Jean Sittert, along with AMLC legal officers lawyers Charlemagne Tambo and Claudine Joy Gonzalez, handled the cases for direct bribery, robbery with intimidation, and violation of Republic Act 3019 or the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act filed before the prosecutor's office in Zamboanga City. The Zamboanga City Regional Trial Court Branch 12 convicted BIR Revenue Officer for Floricero Albeo of Revenue District No. 93A of BIR Zamboanga City for violations of Sections 4 and 4B of RA 9160, Anti-Money Laundering Act. Albeo was apprehended in an entrapment operation conducted by the National Bureau of Investigation in 2022 for extorting 500,000 pesos from a certain Miss Ledesma. The NBI and AMLC later found Albeo maintained 36 bank accounts across 4 banks. As a revenue officer with an equivalent pay of salary grade 19, Albeo's monthly income was 49,835 pesos, with an annual income equivalent to 598,020 pesos, yet she deposited an average of 93,000 pesos from May to the 20th of August 22, which is more than double her salary during that period. Public office demands a higher standard of accountability and integrity. Those entrusted with the privilege to serve must not only perform with excellence but also uphold the highest degree of candor in all their dealings. This is the benchmark that our Bagong Pilipinas government will never compromise, Justice Secretary Frederick Vida said. The RTC Branch 12 sentenced Albeo to 7 to 13 years of imprisonment for the first 6 money laundering cases with a 3 million pesos fine for each count, and 4 to 6 years of imprisonment for the remaining 6 money laundering cases with a 1.5 million pesos fine for each count, to be served successively. 2 Sangguniang Kabataan chairpersons in Makati City have been suspended after being found guilty of misconduct by the city's Sangguniang Panlungsod. Interior Secretary John Vic Remilla announced on Monday. Remilla said complaints will also be filed against the 2 SK officials before the Office of the Ombudsman, noting with concern that corruption appears to have reached even affluent villages. In a press briefing, Remilla said the SK chairperson of Barangay Dasmariñas was suspended for 6 months for allegedly demanding a 20% kickback from a supplier for a Halloween project. The official was also accused of submitting an SK resolution bearing the falsified signature of the SK secretary. Meanwhile, the SK chairperson of Barangay Magallanes was suspended for 3 months for allegedly submitting documents with forged signatures, including that of an SK Kagawad councillor, who was reportedly abroad at the time. The official admitted the documents were not personally signed but claimed prior consent had been given. Remilla emphasized that cases will be pursued regardless of a barangay's status. We do not discriminate, whether it is a small or wealthy barangay, he said. A patrolman driving a police vehicle and his immediate superior, a police major, were administratively relieved from their posts for a supposed traffic violation in Manila, the Philippine National Police said on Tuesday. The Land Transportation Office had summoned the 2 police officers after they were seen transporting 2 wooden pushcarts protruding from the back of their vehicle. In response, in a briefing in Camp Crame, PNP spokesperson Brigadier General Randolph Tuano said, starting yesterday, they were administratively relieved from their posts undergoing pre-charge investigation pending completion of the investigation. He did not immediately name both officers assigned at the Morians police station. The 2 officers were making the rounds in their area of responsibility last the 16th of April confiscating road obstructions, including the 2 wooden pushcarts, Tuano explained. When the 2 officers decided to instead deliver the confiscated road obstructions to the Manila City Hall for the bigger storage space, they were caught on video plying Asuncion Street near La Candela Street. transporting the 2 wooden carts at the back of their vehicle. Our PNP personnel's intentions were good because they were confiscating obstructions from public places, Tuano said. But, the way the obstructions were transported, this is what we call a dangerous load, he added. Tuano further noted that the LTO had preventively suspended the patrolman's driver's license. According to the LTO's show cause order for the 2 officers, they are expected to appear before the transport agency at their Quezon City office and explain the incident on Wednesday. 2 active police officers and 4 other individuals were arrested for allegedly illegally transporting 290,000 pesos worth of suspected mineral ores in Misamis Oriental, the Philippine National Police said on Tuesday. The 6 suspects were caught aboard an Isuzu L300 at a checkpoint in Sisio in Barangay Lamonda, Opal Town late Monday afternoon, according to a police report from the Police Regional Office Northern Mindanao. It identified the 2 active police officers as a police senior master sergeant with the alias Jerry, 47, and a police staff sergeant with the alias Jefferson, 37, both of whom were assigned to the Moncayo Municipal Police. Meanwhile, the 4 others were identified with the aliases Regine, 46, Neri, 33, Jason, 32, and Francisco, 46. Upon inspection, the team observed in plain view that sacks of alleged mineral ores were placed behind the passenger seat of the vehicle, PRO10 explained. The individuals on board failed to present any pertinent documents to support the transport of the alleged mineral ores, which led to their apprehension, it added. The police did not immediately say where the mineral ore had come from and where it was headed, nor detailed how the 4 civilians were involved. Authorities recovered 58 sacks of suspected unprocessed minerals as well as the 2 police officers' service firearms with 4 magazines and 60 pieces of live ammunition. All 6 suspects were taken into the custody of the Opal Municipal Police, awaiting cases for violating Republic Act No. 7942 or the Philippine Mining Act. In a press briefing in Camp Crame, Quezon City on Tuesday, PNP spokesperson Brigadier General Randolph Tuano said the agency's chief, General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr., had ordered the 2 implicated police officers to be relieved from their posts. They were caught in Misamis Oriental, but the 2 officers are assigned in Region 11, at the Moncayo Municipal Police Station, so, it's out of their jurisdiction, Tuano noted. It appears they are giving protection while the mineral ore is being transported, he added. 2 City Hall employees in Marikina were arrested in an entrapment operation conducted by the local government in coordination with the Philippine National Police in Barangay Fortune on Monday, the 27th of April. In a statement, the city government said the suspects, both administrative aides, were apprehended while inside a government-issued vehicle and are now under police custody. The operation was carried out following a complaint from a businessman over alleged unauthorized collection linked to permit processing. Police said marked money was recovered during the operation. The local government said it immediately coordinated with the PNP to act on the complaint and conduct an intelligence-driven entrapment operation. The city government reiterated its policy against abuse of authority and said appropriate action will be taken against those involved. San Pablo, Laguna Mayor Arcadio Gapangada Jr. filed malversation and graft complaints before the Office of the Ombudsman against Vice Mayor Justin Calago over the alleged payment of salaries to around 200 ghost employees. Gapangada said Monday the complaint was based on an investigation into alleged payroll irregularities in the Office of the Vice Mayor, where individuals were listed as employees but allegedly did not actually receive their salaries. They are not the ones receiving the natural salary that other people are receiving the salary, and this was done by deceiving them, Gapangada told reporters. The complaint alleged that Calago certified and signed documents used for the processing and release of wages, including the daily time records, accomplishment reports, and corresponding payrolls. Gapangada cited daily time records and accomplishment reports covering the 1st of October to the 30th of December, 2025, as part of their documentary evidence. He added that some individuals listed as employees denied receiving salaries. Records will show that the paymaster is there. Someone accepted the money. Now when you interview the people involved, they did not accept, and they are ready to give sworn statements, Gapangada said. According to the mayor, some listed workers were reportedly abroad or residing outside Laguna. Gapangada added that most of the alleged ghost workers were hired under job order arrangements and received daily wages of around 600 pesos. Calago is also facing complaints for alleged violation of code of conduct and ethical standards for public officials and employees, conduct prejudicial to the best interest of the service, grave abuse of authority, serious dishonesty, and grave misconduct. That's all for this week. I'll see you next Friday with more stories of corruption and foolishness within the Philippine government.